season is all about luxury cars. If you've played the Ferrari playlist, you know what I mean. But it doesn't end there. The festival has invited numerous guests and brands to take part over the years. And now, the most prestigious brands are opening their doors to us. Our luxury car authority, the Archivist, has been invited by the greatest European luxury car manufacturers to discuss a common passion for beautiful vehicles and to show us the places where these jewels are formed. A grand tour of Europe that you'll be getting a taste of in this new playlist experience. Onto the container. You'll discover everything this voyage was about.
Motorfest archivist. I had the privilege to be invited by prestigious European car manufacturers for a special visit. This was the beginning of my European tour, and the starting point for your new car culture experience. My journey would let me spend time among the finest machines the old continent has produced. French elegance, German peak engineering.
Welcome to the Porsche Museum. First and foremost, Porsche is something you have to drive. You have to sit in, you have to feel. If you sit in the car, then you directly recognize this is a Porsche.
British craftsmanship.
Experience the bike that we already love. Character, performance, detail, quality, and style.
I'll relate my journey for you, and for my archives. These are my luxury chronicles.
This time, the Motorfest will deliver this playlist to you on a weekly basis. Each week, a new chapter of the Luxury Chronicles for you to enjoy the luxury cars throughout the whole season. Let's see what's coming up. The tour starts now. Our archivist has documented the whole thing, so we can share with you here in Hawaii his luxury chronicles. Each car you'll be driving in this playlist is related to our archivist journey. Get to the event tag and discover what our luxury car authority has in store for you.
My trip back to Europe would lead me first to France, with a schedule full of promise. I couldn't wait to meet the people from Bugatti, embodiment of French car luxury, and spend time with some of the most brilliant machines in the country. But my very first meeting was with an equally interesting manufacturer and a rather peculiar car. Genti Automobile and their first creation, the Accolone. My European journey was starting far from the buzzing cities, in the small village of Saint-Yor, in central France. When you get these notes, driver, you'll be driving the roads of Maui in the very cars I'm writing about, to get a proper French luxury feel without leaving Hawaii or the festival. The Accolone and Genti Automobile was such an interesting starting point for my tour. A newcomer to the French luxury car market, and their very first machine. This was very exciting. I got to learn everything I needed to know about this car. A car born from the passion of a creator who dreamed of building his own luxury hypercar with 4-figure horsepower and an unparalleled power-to-weight ratio from scratch. By the time you, driver, get my notes, the result should be in your hands. personality and soul. The Accolone by Genti Automobile.
How was this luxury ride for an introduction? For the next event of this playlist, we're going deeper into the French luxury car market. Get ready to hear everything about our Archivist's second stop.
Despite its rare and premium nature, luxury cars can take many forms and come from many places. Of course, they often come from well-established luxury manufacturers, and I was about to see a lot of these on my journey. But my visit at Genti has shown us that a luxury car can bloom from the vision and passion of a single person. And today, my second stop in France has shown that luxury cars can also come from manufacturers that usually keep their distance from the luxury world. This stop was about a French everyday car manufacturer, Citroën, and their famous Citroën GT. The GT is a car which, according to its main engineer in 2008, was meant to be the supercar of 2025, the same year as this European trip. Talk about apropos. This car was originally made for a video game, but it had such an impact that they decided to make it a reality. At the time, the possibility of having the GT be mass-produced was real. But in the end, the incredible vehicle would remain a concept car for the world to admire and a very privileged few to drive. With the Accolone and this Citroën GT, my tour was off to a great start. And it was only the beginning.
things are getting serious. You're now about to focus on the most luxurious of French luxury car brands. No need to think twice. You've already guessed it. Our next event, Bugatti, Now and Then.
At last, it was finally time for me to make a stop in Molsheim, home of the French luxury car brand par excellence, Bugatti. There is absolutely no way I could have skipped this more than 110-year-old institution. My enthusiasm was vindicated as I got to spend some time with the legendary machine that is the 1936 Type 57 SC Atlantic, designed by Jean Bugatti, one of the most beautiful Bugattis ever made. A car that embodies Bugatti's pioneering spirit and passion for perfection. What a pleasure it was to take this venerable machine through the picturesque countryside roads of France. Four units of this car were made at the time, including a single all-black version that Jean Bugatti kept for himself. Unfortunately, its whereabouts are a long-standing mystery, as that particular vehicle disappeared during World War II. Or did she? To be honest, this special moment with Bugatti was one of the highlights of my European tour, especially when you know which car they're going to bring next. La Voiture Noire, a direct tribute to that all-black Type 57 SC I just mentioned. One of the most beautiful and most expensive cars in the world. Exclusivity, artistry, performance, and luxury. A car that is undoubtedly a worthy successor to Jean Bugatti's personal masterpiece. I'm pretty sure the man would have loved to see this. Anyway, for me, this was the perfect end to a perfect day. To you festival goers, I hope you'll enjoy driving these as much as I did admiring them in their native land.
The Luxury Chronicles continue. We're staying with Bugatti for one last French spin with a luxurious yet very intimidating car.
Day 4 of my glorious French sojourn. I was staying at Bugatti's for another day, and as the icing on the cake, Bugatti served me one last exclusive piece of art on a plate. The Bugatti Vision GT. Another car originally designed for the video game industry that made it to the real world, for my pleasure, and yours. If you're currently driving this car, and I believe you are, be cautious. This car may be a jewel. Once awakened, she becomes a beast. with that, my time with Bugatti and the French section of my tour were coming to an end. My next destination, Germany.
This was a dive into French car haute couture. You're now entering the second part of this luxury vehicle experience, still narrated by our archivist. So next stop, Germany. A very special German car has been prepared for you.
After a marvelous French introduction, I was now flying to Germany to pursue my work on the European luxury brands. I was expecting great things from the upcoming meetings. This leg of the journey was a promising one, as I was about to meet my esteemed counterpart at Porsche.
My name is Frank Jung, and I'm responsible here at the Porsche AG for the corporate archive and the car collection. The archive is kind of the memory of the brand, the memory of Porsche. In between the 80 cars we're showing here, the car GT is one of the top stars. Top sports car of its time, high-performance machine. And it's mainly made by hand.
My luxury chronicles were really shaping up, with one incredible encounter after another. And now, I was about to see Porsche as never before, with a special focus on the Porsche Carrera GT. Talking about German luxury cars without talking about Porsche would be nonsense. It is one of the names that belongs in the pantheon of luxury car culture. Guided by my fellow archivist from Stuttgart, I was being honored with an insider tour of their museum, from which I was getting priceless notes and pictures for my archives and for Motorfest. Among all the jewels that surrounded us, the Carrera GT took a special place in our day. A car born from a streak of Porsche victories, made to compete with the greatest. Top sports car in the 2000s, and dare I say, one of the top sports cars of all time. What a day, and what a car. I couldn't have dreamed of a better way to start my trip in Germany.
Hard to beat Porsche when it comes to German luxury cars. Well, don't worry. Our archivist and the Motorfest organizers have got you covered. You'll see. Luxury Chronicles Europe, Germany. Second stop, Apollo Automobile.
My Germany tour is officially on. After an incredible first stop in Stuttgart, I had the distinct pleasure of spending a day with Apollo Automobile and an absolute marvel of a car, the Apollo Project Evo. This car, which is still under development as I write these lines, is definitely one of the boldest and most aggressive-looking cars I've seen in my long career. The active aerodynamics, the fins, that rear spoiler, and X-Lite signature. Everything in this car's design screams, "You're getting eaten alive." And this interior. You really have to see it to believe it. Nothing short of a superhero car. There's only one existing prototype at the moment. The one I just got the chance to discover. Note to self. I really must convince Apollo to lend this car to Motorfest for our upcoming luxury cars playlist. Luxury is elegance, fine materials, and high-precision craftsmanship. But it is also the freedom to embrace a hardline approach and go all the way.
After Porsche and Apollo, our archivist was only halfway through his European journey. In the next event, we'll hear what he had to say about his seventh stop, a day at Audi, with a focus on the luxury racing car. Get ready to step in the world of gentleman drivers.
my trip was getting me to dig even deeper into German car culture. The people from Audi were now expecting me in the beautiful town of Ingolstadt in Bavaria. The car that they had prepared for me, and the one you, driver, should be driving when you get these notes, was a great surprise and a great addition to our luxury vehicle experience. The 2020 Audi R8 LMS GT2. A true racing car, as it was built for a very specific Grand Touring competition, the GT2 European Series. Yet also a true luxury car, as the GT2 event is in fact a particular championship designed for amateur pay drivers, a racing category for what we call the gentleman drivers. A category in which this Audi R8 is queen. Audi R8 LMS GT2, a car that was first introduced at Goodwood.
Luxury often goes together with mean performance in Germany.
My last day in Germany led me to Mercedes for yet another thrilling ride. My ultimate appointment in this country was set with the breathtaking Mercedes AMG 1. The one and only, as Mercedes would say. Like all the German machines I had the pleasure to admire over the course of my trip, the Mercedes AMG 1 was indubitably on the powerful side. That's an understatement, as the 1 was built from the dream of bringing Formula One technology to the road. A dream that was meant to come true. Everything in this car screams Formula One. Powertrain, materials, interior. And I believe world champion Lewis Hamilton himself helped Mercedes in the development of this car. To the driver who'll get behind the wheel of this machine in the festival, you're probably not ready. German trip was ending wonderfully with this Mercedes AMG 1. I was content and ready to move on to the last part of my trip.
The tour continues. After France and Germany, we'll now be focusing on British vehicles. In his notes, the archivist is telling us everything about his great first stop, a day at Triumph. That's correct. Our British luxury culture section starts with motorcycles. you are. You're going for a nice and chill ride. Pay attention, find your way, reach the destination.
After a roller coaster of a trip through France and Germany, my luxury car pilgrimage was bringing me back to my home, Great Britain. My first encounter alone was enough to justify the trip, as I was about to meet yet another fascinating individual.
My name's Stuart Wood. I'm Chief Engineer at Triumph. We're in the Triumph Factory Visitor Experience here in Hinckley. It's a great display of motorbikes. If I had to pick just one bike, it's going to have to be the Rocket 3. It's got high performance, very high capability, high specification, really stunning looks. It really is phenomenal.
A delightful meeting that would be followed by other great surprises from my homeland. My European journey was slowly coming to an end. Yet I still had so much to see to complete my luxury chronicles. Starting with a keenly anticipated stop in Hinckley.
We pay a lot of attention to the detail and how well the bike works.
And a special rendezvous with the Triumph Rocket 3R. Cloudy grey skies and damp asphalt. I was back home, no doubt. And I couldn't be happier. I had a whole day with Triumph ahead of me, surrounded by passionate people to guide me through their motorcycle universe. Stuart Wood, concept engineer, had shared with me everything you could ever want to know about Triumph. Their 100 years of existence, the attention to detail, the perfect combination of performance and visual design. Fascinating. This Rocket 3. Big and powerful, with a remarkable 2.5-litre engine, but still easy to ride. An extreme motorcycle with a huge presence. A Triumph bike through and through. British craftsmanship and style, the passion of a whole biker community. This was shaping up to be another highlight of this European trip. All I could do is enjoy the moment. raw performance has never looked as good as it does on a Triumph. I believe that's what they call character.
Our luxury car exhibition moves forward with another iconic British manufacturer. The car we'll be focusing on in this event is again special in many ways. Get to the event tag and you'll see Europe has still plenty in store to surprise you.
My next British stop was McLaren, with the most exclusive McLaren there is, the Elva. The extreme expression of what a McLaren car can be. Fifth in the McLaren Ultimate Series, a line that encompasses McLaren's most advanced design, engineering, and performance. Like McLaren says, the Elva is a car that needs no destination, designed to deliver nothing but the purest possible driving experience. Light, powerful, split-second agility, with no roof, no windshield. This is a car that plays with your senses and builds a connection between the driver, the car, and the elements. A car directly in line with the experimental legacy of the founder of the brand himself, Bruce McLaren. Renowned driver and engineer, always looking to push aerodynamics further. The Elva is a beautiful tribute to that heritage. I wasn't initially sure I'd have the time for this detour at McLaren, but I was so glad I made the trip.
Jaguar is a brand that it's hard to go around when it comes to gorgeous British cars. That's why it had to be part of this tour. The car that we've selected for you now, the Jaguar CX-75 concept.
the Jaguar CX-75 concept. C stands for concept, X for experimental, and 75 as a tribute to Jaguar's 75th anniversary. A breathtaking hypercar that unfortunately couldn't be mass-produced. Yet this prototype alone is quite the celebrity in the luxury car world. An elegant and avant-garde design so popular when it came out that she received the Louis Vuitton prize at the Paris Mondial de l'Automobile in 2010. Star of the 007 movie Spectre, along with her co-star, the Aston Martin DB10. Another British concept. Quite the life for a concept car, isn't it? Movie star, muse, prestigious prize winner. And this is only scratching the surface of what this car could have been.
The Luxury Chronicles are far from over. Stick around. I'll let you know when the next part is available. Two bulls face each other proudly in the Maui sun, symbolizing the intense speed clash that awaits you. What do you think? This was generated by a cousin of mine. I'm not great with poetry, but talking to you about playlists, now that I can do. Motorfest takes on the colors of Red Bull, the most energetic brand in motorsport. They've been investing in iconic racing disciplines for decades, teaming up with the most successful manufacturers. But they also sponsor more than 500 extraordinary athletes who represent the brand in their respective sports. We can't introduce them all to you, but our playlist host, Becky Evans, went to meet some of them in her show, Motorfest, the podcast. They're all specialists in the various motorsports you're about to enjoy. Meet us at our brand new playground at the summit of Maui, a world of molten lava and burning rubber. This one comes from my software. I couldn't help myself. Becky's on.
Hi boys and girls, Becky Evans here. I'm joining Motorfest for this new playlist, and I didn't come alone. Red Bull sets up at the summit of Maui on a playground dedicated to every possible racing discipline. We love it. In this playlist, you get to become a pro at every discipline and find out which discipline is the best. Can a motocross bike beat a rally car? Can an AGP beat an aeroplane? It's up to you to take on the craziest challenges and answer the questions that everyone's asking. And I won't be the only one hosting this playlist. Motorsport stars will join us and give you all of their tips and stories. It's shaping up nicely. Let's go. Let's begin the Red Bull experience.
The clash of disciplines starts now. To get the full experience, check out Sounds of Red Bull, the new track list in the music player. Another activity awaits. We start this Red Bull playlist with a rallycross race. Let's see how the Ford Puma Hybrid will fare against other rally monsters, like the Audi Quattro, the Citroën C3, or the Focus RS. But before that, we take a look at Motorfest, the podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to Motorfest, the podcast. Here I get real with Red Bull athletes to tell us about the intensity of motorsports and the love they feel for it. And let's talk about Rallycross, which is the theme of the first playlist event. For the occasion, I asked two of the most exciting Rallycross names about their ideal car. Here are the Hanson brothers. Guys, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, Timmy, if you were to describe your ultimate dream machine, what would it be?
Something like, what they have in Pikes Peak, a lot of power, a lot of suspension travel, being able to jump really far.
Kevin, over to you.
Like really long suspension travel, so you can jump like crazy. Rebel livery, red.
Yep, okay, makes sense. The car you're about to drive meets a lot of Kevin and Timmy's criteria. I hope you guys will love it. Oh, and to listen to the full podcast, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Just go to the Sounds of Red Bull tracklist of your music player. Enjoy the race. Welcome to the Red Bull Playground, boys and girls. Becky Evans here, improvising as the voice of the playlist. Ray Waller, the official voice of the festival, is bedridden, but don't worry, he'll be back soon. I'll be commentating on what you see, and don't blink because things are going to happen fast. Drivers are entering a tunnel for the first time. Now they have to adapt their driving to the tarmac. It's a cross-terrain race, just like this playlist, mixing all the disciplines of racing. Second lap, ladies and gentlemen. I've always wanted to say that. In my last podcast, Timmy Hanson explained how essential it is to gather enough speed, keep the nose up, and land flat for a successful jump. Woohoo! Looks like this one. Listen to the podcast. We have dirt legends on the grid today. I see the Audi S1 EKS RX Quattro, the 2016 world champion, has started in first position. But the big surprise, undoubtedly the Ford Puma Hybrid Rally 1, the brand's first electrified rally car. Boys and girls.
perfect way to prepare for our first speed clash.
It's time for a first clash of disciplines. 2 disciplines, 2 paths. Choose your discipline and prove that it can set the fastest time. Becky, your turn.
All right, boys and girls, I'm super excited because we get to see the first clash of motorsports. We're staying in the dirt, and you know the first opponent because we already saw it in action, the Puma. But for the second, you'll have to listen to my last interview.
Hi, I'm Robbie Madison. I'm freestyle motocross rider. I've done a lot of cool stunts.
As a champion athlete and stunt performer, what does flirting with the limit mean for you?
To me, flirting with the limit is like being in the moment. When you're able to flirt with the limit, you're operating at the full maximum potential that you're able to operate. That's the pinnacle, right? That's peak performance.
And you guys, are you ready to flirt with the limits? Team Hansen or Team Madison? Which side are you on? The Ford Puma. Now you know better than anyone what this machine is capable of.
You're witnessing a real speed clash. The first one to the finish is the winner. Right now, the bike and the car are on the same course, but to keep things fair, they'll diverge onto separate routes, designed to let each vehicle work to its full potential. The course is about to split. Straight ahead for the car, right for the motorcycle. The KTM definitely has the advantage of airtime. She's much better at jumping. But the Puma can deal with asphalt and is more reliable on straights. Both have their strong points. Which one will exploit theirs best? No matter the vehicle, dirt requires reflexes, but above all, instinct. Making the right choices quickly is the key to surviving the race. motocross. We've got our answer, boys and girls.
The dirt chapter is finished. We're moving on to asphalt vehicles. We start quietly, and I use big quotation marks, with a little warm-up ride on a racing bike.
Podcast studio. Listen to this, folks. What you're hearing is the sound of the KTM RC16 2022 version, and that's my guess for today. 4 cylinders, 1,000 cubic centimeters, 250 horsepower for just 346 pounds. Take a look at this dynamic marvel and get ready to drive in the time attack. Don't forget, when you're driving along the coast of Maui or the streets of Honolulu, you can listen to all the podcast episodes on the Sounds of Red Bull track list. Now, time to unleash the moto racing power.
Pay attention, boys and girls. This event can seem simple, but it's crucial for our driver. A time attack to test whether the driver can handle the next clash of disciplines. The Glass Bend is undoubtedly a playground landmark, and no lie, it's definitely not safe. The RC16 is a little marvel. We had to wait until 2017 to see the RB KTM factory join the competition. The brand has won everything in other competitions, so it was time to see them take on moto racing. Moto test passed. Now our driver can either play it safe and keep this vehicle or roll the dice with something unknown. It's an agonizing decision.
Clash of disciplines in sight. When a racing bike meets a racing car, it's a real battle for the asphalt.
For the next one, we'll put two disciplines in a head-to-head race and see which one crosses the line first. Racing car or racing bike? Which one is the best? Will it be the beautiful Ferrari 488 in its circuit version or the KTM RC16 that we all know has great skills? I'm leaning towards the bike. It's lighter and its top speed flirts with 224 miles per hour. It's the logical choice. But aren't we here to defy the laws of logic? Racing car addicts, it's up to you to prove otherwise. Better to bet on the standard we know, isn't it?
No individual courses today, it's a pure face-off on a circuit design for both vehicles. So I don't want to hear any sore losers complaining. May the best win. On track this evening, the KTM RC16 takes on the Ferrari 488 GT3. 600 horsepower for 2,777 pounds for the Italian machine, while the Austrian Stallion boasts only 270 horsepower, but for 346 pounds, not insignificant. The car and the bike can both turn well at speed, but it's the exit of the turn and the entry into the next one that will be decisive. This section of the course isn't a track. It's been specially resurfaced to provide a little extra speed. Look at the volcano smoke. So cool. Regardless of who wins, this clash has a lot to live up to. Lightness trumps power. Congrats to all those who bet on the racing bike.
Luxury Chronicles, new chapter. You know what to do. Drive to the tag and get back to your European journey with another pillar of British luxury, Bentley.
Bentley. Could I really go on a tour of the greatest luxury car brands of Europe without stopping by this prestigious manufacturer's headquarters in Crewe? Impossible. So, there I was, at Bentley, face to face with splendid machines, and notably, the Bentley Mulliner Bacala. The Bacala is gorgeous and impressive from afar, but also incredibly well crafted from up close. I was dealing with the elite of British luxury and design refinement there. Extremely exclusive. Only 12 units have been made. Produced by Mulliner, the oldest coach builder in the world, and a serious token of quality. But, needless to say, such prestige comes with a significant price tag. Just like this beautiful day with Bentley, my trip was slowly coming to an end. My next stop will be the last of this Luxury Chronicles journey.
This was a Luxury Chronicles event, and there's more to come. Stay tuned, the next part will be available very soon. Radio Flash. Hear all the insights on the world of racing on Sounds of Red Bull, the official channel of motorsport.
Hey boys and girls, I hope you can keep up because we're about to go hard with the elite of motorsports, the AGP. Cars that can easily go up to 220 miles per hour. And because we always want more in this playlist, we add boost gauges. It's going to be strategic. And as always, I did my homework and talked all things racing with a pro driver. You might know him, Yuki Tsunoda.
Could you break down what you feel your driving style is for us watching you on the screen?
My dad used to teach me a lot about braking. Definitely, I like to adapt braking. Recently, last Grand Prix was a bit too much sometimes, and yeah, unfortunately, a couple of times went to the wall. You know, it feels great when you feel the G-force, you know, with the maximum longitudinal G-force when you have nailed the great braking.
And beside braking hard, be focused at the start. It's decisive for the rest of the race.
Drivers are focused. The start is imminent. Let's go! A full AGP race, using boosts in the right place at the right time, will be decisive. Second lap. It's raining. It's going to be a completely different race from now on. The RB AGP Museum is on this circuit. 4 generations, RB 13, 14, 18 and 20. 7 years of evolution from Renault to Honda engines. Between them, these 4 account for more than 70 podiums. Ultimate lap. Drivers, if you've got any extra nitro, now's the time to use it. Superb victory. Proof that RB AGP just keeps getting better and better.
RB20. You can keep it for what follows, but you can also opt for a vehicle that's a little less earthbound. The choice is yours.
Podcast, guys. As you've seen, the playground is a motorsport paradise, but there's still a place that we haven't experienced so far. The sky. I was lucky enough to feature Luke Chapella, Red Bull Air Race pilot, famous for being the first to land a plane on the very tiny helipad 600 feet in the air.
I'd love to know more about the bullseye stunt. There's an attempt, and then the plane bounces and you keep going, and I had a heart attack and was like, oh my God.
I almost got a heart attack on the first one as well. It took me like 650 practice landings before I went for the actual landing on the helipad. So for an athlete to come out from what I thought was a failure, but that was quite challenging.
So cool. The video is online. You have to check it out. The next race is the most experimental of the playlist. AGP versus stunt plane. Place your bets. This is the second time that Red Bull is loaning you the RB20. You'll start to make a Dutch man jealous.
Unsurprisingly, the AGP has the advantage on startup, but once the plane is airborne, it's a different story. If you're a Red Bull addict, you'll probably know that this isn't the first time an AGP and a plane have been put on the same grid. Last time, it was in a straight line in a drag race. Here the plane will have to make very tight turns if it wants to keep up with the AGP, which is much more accustomed to doing so. That's really exciting. We enter the second lap. I'm sure you're familiar with the RB20 on the track today, certainly more so than its aerial rival. Stressed for 10G and capable of reaching 975 meters per minute, its size makes it the perfect aerobatic aircraft. Let's hope our pilot will give us a taste. Oh boy, they're neck and neck. succession of turns is tricky. When it comes to speed, the AGPs play in a different division.
One more clash to close this Red Bull playlist. This one is big. Confronting two disciplines is not enough. So Motorfest and Red Bull are offering you the choice of three. Which is the best? Becky asked our Red Bull athletes what they think.
In your honest opinion, between rally, AGP and motor racing, which is the most intense discipline? The one that brings the craziest sensations?
I think it's motor racing, actually.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I think F1, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'd go for Formula One.
Rallycross, moto racing, or AGP? Here comes the ultimate challenge of the playlist, but also the end of the podcast. But I'm never far away. I'm always on the air. You'll find all the podcasts on the Sounds of Red Bull tracklist. And then, I don't know why, but I feel like we'll see each other again soon. It's off to the apex of the playlist. Everyone thinks the AGP will win, but I want to believe the KTM can do it.
Who will cross the line first in this head-to-head race? Answer in, about a few minutes. The rally car has already changed its course to reach the dirt. Each vehicle has its own special route designed to match its strengths. The AGP stands out for its speed and braking quality, and of course it sticks to asphalt and is unbeatable in corners. So to make things fair, it will be racing the longest route. The bike's route, on the other hand, is shorter but ultra technical, forcing the rider to swing through the curves without losing speed. The AGP seems to be ahead for the moment, but don't forget that its path is the longest. Everything can still change. Time for the family photo. ultimate racetrack, the Speed War. It's a two-wheel kingdom. Victory for the bike.
You haven't claimed your reward for this playlist.
This is a state of human consciousness involving focused attention, reduced peripheral awareness.
End of Speed Clash, the first milestone in a promising relationship between Red Bull and Motorfest. I'm sure this is just the beginning. You've discovered a multitude of racing vehicles in this playlist, all of them motorsports gems. But we had to choose just one for the reward. We thought maybe you wouldn't mind having a Red Bull branded Ferrari in your garage. The Ferrari F48 GT3 FE Corse is just for you. Playlist cleared and ready for takeoff, driver. A playlist is available, driver. Have you ever watched a Red Bull video of a motocross bike rider doing a backflip off a bridge and said to yourself, I've got to do that someday? Well, today you can. We're leaving motorsports behind to embrace Red Bull's extreme side.
What's up, guys and girls? Hope you didn't miss us too much. We're getting back to it, and this time we're going further and higher. We've kept the craziest Red Bull vehicles for this playlist. You'll have to drive these machines machines and pushed them to their extreme limits all over Maui. And because we wanted to spice things up a little bit, we called in the Daredevils. Extreme drivers that set the highest score before you, beat them and show that you are the true, the only, and the ultimate Daredevil. Well, I know I'm hyped. This is going to be mad. Let's go.
Red Bull Wild Ride. From motorsport to automobile madness, there is only one step. Let's move on to another activity. To sum up, you'll have to grapple with crazy vehicles in action-focused events. Before you embark on your action list, Red Bull suggests a pure rally raid confrontation with these lunatics so that you can get to know each other. Caldera, canyon, beach, and all-out jumping. That's the program. Let's go!
Deal the cards. The Queen, Dirt and Air Specialist. The Joker, this guy's sick, but that's why he's so good on a bike. And the Ace, the Flash of motorsports. You'll have to beat the times of these three guys in action-focused events. But this is still just our first meeting. Show them you're not here to bluff. Shakes up, huh? The previous RSQ had been slightly damaged due to the vertical acceleration when landing after big jumps. Audi has reworked the... Oh boy, here we go again. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Audi has reworked the shock absorbers and chassis. This version is much safer. Well, as long as you don't land on the roof. On your left. Be surprised by the sharp turn at the end.
Here we go for the first action list. Heading for Central Maui. Perform the actions requested and beat the time already set by the Ace, the Joker, and the Queen. Those specialist drivers Becky was telling you about. Queen will drive before you do. She's Team Daredevil's stat specialist. For the car, Red Bull lends you one that belongs to Force Rally Heritage, a legacy that includes the McRae's Focus in 1999, Hibonen's Fiesta in 2011, and so the car of the day, the 2017 Ford Fiesta WRC Double World Champion 2017-18 with Sébastien Ogier. This is it. The Queen is already up and running. Take a look at her performance. It might inspire you. Here are the actions to perform. Drifting, target hitting, jumping on barns, wall riding. Perform them all and do it as fast as possible.
The Queen kicks off. Keep your eyes peeled. She's not bad at this game. That was really cool. The Queen is done. She looks confident. Now get ready. In 5 seconds, it's your turn. It's on. Show the crowd that you can beat the Queen in her own speciality. The rule is simple. Perform all the actions requested as quickly as possible. Targets or barn roof ahead. Your choice.
Now that was really cool. Here we go again. Smash all the targets you can. Ride on some more bar roofs and you're in business. Will raise their game.
Not only did you get the whole thing out of the way, but you also beat the time of a specialist. That deserves a little beach break and a swim. Next event is between Oahu and Maui, and boat outrun between the Kaiwi Islet. Red Bull has even taken the liberty of building giant fans to propel you when you make jumps. It's untested technology. Sounds like it could be fun. remind you of the rules of Outrun. Drive as fast as you can to beat the timer. Each door saves you time. If your timer reaches 0, the event stops and you'll have to start again. Good luck!
Actionless aside for a marine adventure. Red Bull's strong connection to action on the water is nothing new. They are heavily involved in high-speed sailboat racing. It's like an Alpha GP race, but on the sea. They even race thunderboats at 200 miles an hour. That's pretty much what you're doing right now. A powerboat race where you have to fight against time. Let yourself be carried away by the current and the giant fans. Let's get back to business.
Come back down to earth for the next checklist event. Well, not quite. Does Robbie Madison ring a bell? He is a legend in the world of freestyle motocross. The guy has countless victories in freestyle competitions and rope jump records. like his 29.3-meter motorcycle jump on the replica of the Vegas Triumphal Arch. He's so good that he was even chosen as the stuntman for the world's most famous British spy. You're riding his bike, a KTM 450 with a Robbie Madison modification that won't go unnoticed. By the way, Becky did a podcast with Robbie Madison where he talks about his career. It's a fascinating listen. If you want to find it, go to the sounds of Red Bull track list of your music player. It's over there, on the docks. The Joker's already at work. As usual, if you perform the actions and beat his time, you gain his power. Just like in Highlander.
Told me that one of the heaviest moments of his life was riding this motorcycle on a 24-foot wave. On land or in the water, you can do anything with this machine. You can do wheelies, backflips, hit targets while jumping. It's freestyle motocross, so do all the freestyle tricks you can think of and smash the Joker's time.
ground's work for the next checklist event. Well, not quite.
Told me that one of the heaviest moments of his life was riding this motorcycle on a 24-foot wave. On land or in the water, you can do anything with this machine. You can do wheelies, backflips, hit targets while jumping. It's freestyle motocross, so do all the freestyle tricks you can think of and smash the Joker's time. set the record straight. The Joker is out.
perfect run. The Joker is renowned for being quite crazy, a rider who takes a lot of risks, but he found a rider even crazier than he is. One last interlude, and this one should please you. It's a drift race between asphalt and dirt. There's no score to reach, just a time to beat. Red Bull lends you another jewel, the Drift Brothers BMW M4 competition. The car belongs to Elias and Joe Hamtoji, two German brothers, pro drifters who compete together. If you're interested in their story, check out the Sounds of Red Bull tracklist, where Eli Hamtoji talks competition and burnt rubber with professional drifter Connor Shanahan. Definitely the podcast to listen to if you want drifting tips. I can't wait to see you tame the M4.
Here's an event I've been waiting for. Drifting is my thing, and on top of that, I know this M4 very well, having seen it shine in competition. Tunji told me his team got 2 M4 models before they were even marketed and made 2 1,000 horsepower drift machines for himself and his brother Joe. Enjoy it. It feels absolutely sick drifting with this monster. Again, you've got to give it everything to drift like a drift brother. Here's an event I've been waiting for. Drifting is my thing, and on top of that, I know this M4 very well, having seen it shine in competition. Tunji told me his team got 2 M4 models before they were even marketed and made 2 1,000 horsepower drift machines for himself and his brother Joe. Enjoy it. It feels absolutely sick drifting with this monster. To give it everything to drift like a drift brother. Here's an event I've been waiting for. Drifting is my thing, and on top of that, I know this M4 very well, having seen it shine in competition. Tunji told me his team got 2 M4 models before they were even marketed and made 2 1,000 horsepower drift machines for himself and his brother Joe. Enjoy it. It feels absolutely sick drifting with this monster.
awesome.
One more immortal in your path, perhaps the toughest, the Ace. The action list that awaits you is an AGP event, but Red Bull style. If you've ever seen a Red Bull video with an AGP drifting in the dirt, you'll know what I mean. We've taken the most modern model, the RB20, and fitted it with rally tires and slightly beefier suspension, just in case you need to jump it. Basically, it's an all-terrain AGP. So as well as being a muddy event, it's going to be really fast. Give you the action list to prepare you psychologically. High speed and precision driving, jumping, target hitting, and drifting. And of course, you'll have to beat the time set by the Ace. Let's see if the guy lives up to his nickname.
Ace. He's not much of a talker, but he's quick and sharp. No one can argue with that. Damn, this guy is fast. Oh yeah. The Ace set the bar high, but that was to be expected.
give you an AGP with a rally wheel set. It's precise, it can go anywhere at high speed, and with all that, it can jump.
one more immortal in your path, perhaps the toughest, the Ace. The action list that awaits you is an AGP event, but Red Bull style. If you've ever seen an AGP drifting in the dirt, you'll know what I mean. We've taken the most modern model, the RB20, and fitted it with rally tyres and slightly beefier suspension, just in case you need to jump it. Basically, it's an all-terrain AGP, so as well as being a muddy event, it's going to be really fast.
The Ace set the bar high, but that was to be expected. We gave you an AGP with a rally wheel set. It's precise, it can go anywhere at high speed, and with all that, it can jump. one ace in this game.
You've beaten all the drivers on their own turf, in their own specialities, but apparently they haven't said their last word. They join forces for one last action list mixed event. Same rules as before, except that you'll go through 3 different disciplines. Once you've validated a vehicle's checklist, you move on to the next action list. On the program, motor surfing with Robbie Madison's KTM, followed by a racing car action list with the Ferrari 488 GT3, and to top it all off, an action list stunt plane. Don't worry if you're not used to planes. It can be intimidating at first, but you've proved you're crazy enough to tame an extra 300. It's your last wild ride, driver. Enjoy and show them who's the real daredevil in this playlist.
The Joker, the Ace, and the Queen get together for one last time. It's a full house. Last event, so it's going to be a shaker. We start with the water bike. Airtime, targets to hit, and wall rides. You know the drill.
Ferrari 488. That's the asphalt part. Near misses, targets, and all these actions at high speed. We're literally giving you wings for the last action part. You'll have to be very precise in the air, flying under bridges, brushing against wind turbines. The Queen set her time. Beat it. action driver. Kudos. This one will be hard to digest for the daredevils.
There's a reward vehicle waiting for you. So, daredevils, who's the boss now? Goodness me, I should be careful what I say. I have a feeling this isn't the last time we'll be meeting them. The reward is as good as the playlist. The KTM 450 EXE Motorsurf version. You're literally going to own Robbie Madison's dream. So take care of it and make Robbie proud by catching every big wave you see on the Hawaiian coasts. Ready for the next objective? Good to go.